Coach's Corner. I'm Hayden Swope, and we are pleased today to be joined by wrestling coach Chris Safewright. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Well, thanks for joining us. Let's jump right in. We had our first tournament of the year. We placed third as a team. What stood out to you?
Well, first of all, the first tournament of the year, you don't really know what to expect. We've been practicing, for the last 3 weeks. We're just usually excited to get out and see where we stand. So, there's always expectation, but you don't really know what that expectation is. We're a young team. We took 7 freshmen with us. So, again, we didn't really know what to expect. But I would say overall for the first tournament of the year that we were pretty pleased with the kids. We had some really goods. We had a few not so goods, but it definitely gives us a place where we're kind of, a place to start and kind of where we can, start climbing forward now as the season just gets going here. So I would say overall it was pretty good.
What does it mean for the team to be preseason ranked?
First of all, rankings are rankings. We do look at them. We do talk about them, but really, they don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. I know, let's just take last year, for instance. I don't believe we were even in the top 10, of the rankings, and we finished the year in 7th place at the state tournament, which, in our eyes, it's always kind of where you end, not where you start, obviously. But when you see your team being ranked and you get, a little bit of preseason recognition, I think it's kind of cool for the guys. It kind of gives them a little bit of a boost of confidence. Again, even when you are in the rankings, it's, we're still looking at the end of the year. Some of them see that they are ranked and they're pretty confident about that, but at the same time puts a little bit of a target on your back, because people know when we go wrestle places, oh, this kid's ranked, he must be pretty good. And then there's the ones that that aren't ranked but feel like they should be ranked. So it kind of gives them something to look forward to and gives them a purpose during practice. So the rankings are fun. The rankings are fun for for fans, for people outside of the team. I know as far as we go in the practice room and when we're talking about it, we like to have a little fun with it. And then we're always trying to climb. Starting out the year, I believe we were number 9, if I remember right. That's not where we want to finish. So again, it kind of just gives us a little fuel. Something that we want to kind of increase on every week, something that we'll pay attention to, but we don't put a whole lot of stock into it.
You talked about your freshmen. They have a really big class this year. What are your expectations for them?
Like I said, there's expectation for everybody, right? Whether they're freshmen all the way up to senior. I would say with the class that we have now, there's a lot of experience there. It's after seeing this weekend and kind of where we're at, it's somewhat of a double-edged sword, right? We got some good freshmen. We have a few freshmen that weigh the same, and we're trying to separate them. So after going this weekend and seeing where we were at, number one, we are young with those freshmen. We took 7 to the tournament. And then just seeing their weigh-in sheet, we're not only are they freshmen, but they're light for their weight class too. So you put those two things together, it makes it pretty tough and pretty difficult for them, just because they're a little bit younger, a little bit more immature than some of the juniors and seniors, those upperclassmen. So again, what was the expectation? We didn't know for sure. But they know how to wrestle and they have experience. They've grown up wrestling, and I would say that we have high expectation for them. Not only for just this year, but from here moving forward, they're kind of with a big class like this, you're hoping that they kind of keep raising the bar and setting the bar higher and higher as their years go. So I would say this year alone, we expect some freshmen to make some noise. we've got a couple of freshmen that are now in the rankings, and this is just a couple of weeks in. So again, it's one of those things we don't want them to get to be satisfied with where they're at right now, because they've got a long road to go. But with that being said, too, they have a couple of great seniors to kind of look up to. With Keegan Beavers and Kate Evans, they're good, hardworking guys. They've been through the ropes some, and they know what to do. So that freshman class, there's a lot of them, and it is exciting as a coach. It's exciting as a school to have those numbers, and hopefully we just we keep them out and they keep getting better every week, because they're going to get bigger, they're going to get stronger, they're going to get more mature each year that they're here. So this is just kind of our starting base. And the future is so bright for a lot of those guys.
Who are some wrestlers who might have a chance to place at state this year?
Well, if we start at the 106-pound weight class, again, we've been talking about some of the freshmen, and we're blessed as coaches, but at the same time, it's kind of tough as coaches, because we've got 4 really good wrestlers at 106, with Trenton Richwine, Samson Whitted, Adam Bilby, and Johnny Leck. All 4 of those guys could, potentially be really good 106-pounders starting this year. So we had to go through the challenge matches, the ranking system in the practice room, and try to figure out who our 106-pounder is going to be. And that was a battle. We thought that kind of going into those matches that potentially we could have a state championship match in our own practice room, and that's something that a lot of coaches can't say. So it speaks volumes to those guys, and we're lucky as coaches to have them in the room. But at the same time, too, we got friends and we got teammates competing against each other for a big prize, hopefully at the end of the year. So with that being said, we expect Johnny Leck. He is the 106-pounder right now. We expect big things from him, possibly, being a state champion or being in the state finals, placing in the top 3. Any of that would be good. Adam Bilby is our 113-pounder. He just beat a ranked opponent in the Class 5A. He beat the number 3 ranked 113-pounder this last weekend, which was a great match for him. He's a junior. That kid knows how to wrestle. I know him very well. And Adam, he wrestled well, did what he needed to do. So again, we got some high expectations with him. We think he can be there on the podium at the end of the year. How high, we don't know for sure. Again, he could be a state finalist, could be top 3, top 4, top 5. We don't know for sure, but the potential's there. And then we go up to 126, and we've got Bowden Whitted there. Again, Bowden, we kind of give Bowden a hard time because he's kind of a, ride or die kind of guy. He goes after it. This weekend kind of proves it. This last weekend, he had a tough match and lost to a freshman from Bishop Carroll, but then turns around in the same day and beats a number 3 ranked kid in the 5A tournament who had been a state placer before. So Bowden has all the tools that it takes to be a placer at the state tournament, and again, to climb that podium. If we can get him, get him bought in, get him where he needs to be, and just the consistency gets there, he's got a shot. At 132, we have another freshman, Tyron, and I didn't really know what to expect from Tyron a whole lot. I've helped coach him, through the Little League the last few years. Me personally, I've never watched him wrestle a lot of matches at tournaments, so I got to see him compete this weekend, and I was super impressed with just his competitiveness. He wrestled really well. He took second for us. Placing second at a tournament, your first high school tournament. I think that speaks volumes for him. So, I think he could be a guy that we try to get into the state tournament, and hopefully, if things work out for us, he'd be another one that could be a placer. Then we go probably up to 152, Keegan Beavers. He's a guy that's been there. He's a senior leader for us. He's already placed twice the state tournament. I think I can speak on Keegan's behalf saying that we haven't got where we want to be yet. He wants to be in a state finals match, be a state champion, and he's got the work ethic to do that. He's got the wrestling skills to do that. We just haven't had it work out yet, but he's a senior. He's got one more year. And the potential's there. I'm not saying that he will do it. A lot of that's up to him and up to us as coaches to push him, and the potential's there. At 160, Pierce Babasco, he's a junior for us. Again, he wrestled last year with us. The potential was there. We had a bad tournament at our last sub-state tournament, and we ended up falling up a match short to making it into the state tournament. However, I think we get his head on right, get the work ethic there. Pierce could be one that will surprise a lot of people in the state. I think he's a top three challenger in the state, if not being a state finalist and eventually a state champion as well. All the tools are there. Again, it's just kind of buying in and striving for our goals and working towards our goals, and I know that that's one of his goals that he has. I would say then we kind of move to 195. Cade Evans, he was probably the biggest surprise to me this last weekend. Cade's, he wrestled with us last year. He's a senior. Work ethic is outstanding. He's always trying to get better. He is coachable and he listens and he wants to be better. He's one of them that fell just a little bit short last year as a junior too. But going into this last weekend, he was probably in one of the tougher weight classes as far as the ranking system goes. And he was able to not only beat, but he pinned the number 5 ranked kid in 321A. And then same thing, not only did he beat, but he also pinned the number 2 ranked kid in 5A. So I think that was a fantastic start to the season for him. I think that gives him some confidence and gives him something that he can build on. But again, we can't be complacent with it, right? Because the state tournament wasn't the first weekend of the year, it's the last tournament of the year. So if we can kind of keep his head on straight, keep him, looking into the future and not settling on some of the past success like he had just this last weekend, I think he's one that, again, he's going to turn some heads. He's not ranked right now as a senior, but very soon I think he will be. And then the other kids that I didn't personally mention, all of them have a shot. That's the beauty of sports, right? The beauty of practice, the beauty of setting goals, the beauty of, pushing yourself to do something that, some people don't think you're going to do. I think as a coach, I know I stress to my kids that, I love coaching, I love competing, but the thing that I love the most about coaching and competing is that I want to go beat somebody that I'm not supposed to. I want to go win a match that we're not supposed to win. When we get to that level and we start winning some of those matches, confidence goes through the roof, and then they think, anything can happen. So with all 14 varsity guys, the sky's the limit, and it's up to them and what kind of work they want to put into it, and kind of see where we end up at the end of the year.
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the girls program. Who should we be looking at, some wrestlers on the girls side?
So this year we have a total of 5. Last year we just had 1 with Brooklyn Page, and it's kind of cool in the room now. This year we did get a few more. I think that we have 3 that have very good potential. Kerrigan, she's a freshman. She wrestled on Friday and she wrestled really, really well. And I was kind of like, man, we've got ourselves a good wrestler here, right? And then we went to another tournament on Saturday. We struggled a little bit, but that's okay. Again, she's a freshman. She's young, somewhat kind of new to to this whole system. But I think the future's bright for her. And again, it's one of those things, as hard as she wants to work, that's what's going to pay off at the end of the year. Brooklyn Page she's still with us. So far, so good. She was a match short last year of going to the state tournament. However, this year I think she's going to be there. I think she's going to make it to the state tournament. I think she can be a state medalist. Her work ethic is good, and it helps this year. She has a new teammate now with Peyton, and them two work real well together. Peyton, she was a 6th place finisher last year for Douglas. It's her first year wrestling with us this year, so you're kind of seeing her and Brooklyn in the wrestling room and partners to work with each other. And again, they have the same type goals and push each other and strive for things together. I think that they'll do real well, and hopefully Kerrigan kind of follows the path with them. And come the end of February, hopefully we can have 3 girls as state placers at the end of the year, if not better. Make a state finals. So.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Coach. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in next week when I sit down with boys swimming coach Christopher Kurt. I'm Hayden Swope, and I'll see you next week on the Rocket Coaches.